Welcome along, everyone, to Sports Pizza. It is a pleasure to come back your way. And of course, we are back for great conversation as always here on the show to bring you all the big sporting stories. And of course, we'll touch base with that one big game to look forward to. Of course, Champions League final upon us now, as we have gone past the FA Cup final. And of course, we are now in the final game of the season. It's a pleasure to have you join us for a great chat here. And we've had a great season so far. Totally enjoyed all your messages on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and of course, we are always delighted to read from you. So we're going to start off the show today with some great stories, one of which is the under-20 Golden Eaglets, or Flying Eagles, I should say, who have found a way to make themselves proud but couldn't quite make it past the last hurdle. We'll touch base with the NPFL 2023 playoffs, 6 teams looking to be crowned champions of the Nigerian Premier Football League. All of that and much more on the show. We're back in a bit. Welcome back to Sports Pizza. It is a pleasure to have you join us once again. My name is Yubi, and I'm joined by Falana Adeni back on the show as always. Falana held it down last week. Good to have you join us once more. FA Cup done and dusted. One final game to go in the Champions League, and we're all waiting for that Istanbul final. But first things first, how are you? You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Except that the Flying Eagles found a way to.
Right.
To destroy the weekend.
Yeah, we're going to walk into that shortly, but I hope the fuel prices are treating you well, because they haven't been so nice to me.
I mean, I know that.
Yeah.
You are the one that drives.
But of course, I just hope that wherever you're watching us from, the fuel prices are a lot kinder to you. It's a crazy, crazy time. But let's start off with that story you alluded to. Flying Eagles lost the game 1-0. In the manner they lost it, went to extra time. We all thought, I was at home, I was on Twitter thinking we're going to go to penalties and hopefully we can find a way to win the game via the luxury of the lottery. Didn't quite happen. So how did that game transpire? We beat the biggest teams in the tournament, Italy, Argentina. Yes, lost to Brazil, but tactically we looked spot on up until South Korea. How good was South Korea on the day?
Well, it's not a case of how good were the South Korea. It was a case of why didn't we take the chances that came our way? And that has been the problem, at the tournament. Remember the game against Dominican Republic, the first game, they could have won that game 3-1, 4-0, 4-1, 5-1, but they didn't, take their chances. Against the Italians, though they didn't pay for it against the Italians, they won that one. Against Brazilians, the same thing happened, not converting their chances. And we saw that also against Argentina, even though they were able to win that game. And you look across the under-20 tournament, Argentina out of the tournament, Brazil out of the tournament, of course, Israel, shocking. So
who's going to win it?
That way. And Ecuador out of the tournament. Those are the 3 teams that I've actually seen play good football at this tournament. And also England, getting knocked out by Italy. And you look at it and you're like, well, the Flying Eagles have a chance to win their first under-20 tournament, in the history of Nigeria. Somehow, they bottled the league. Well, it's not that it wasn't predicted.
Right.
A friend of ours, I'm very sure you know him, Okoye Emilawan, said after beating Argentina, that something is telling the Flying Eagles are going to bottle the job against South Korea. And that it did.
So basically, it's about we didn't save the best for the last in many ways. But talk to me about how Israel managed to beat Brazil 3-2, and look, that's going to be even a bigger upset than South Korea beating Nigeria, no?
Definitely, and because the Brazilians scored first, and we thought it was going to be the usual day at the office, but somehow the Israeli came back. Maybe I can say God fought for them, and they found their way back into the game. And I thought, well, this is Nigeria's chance.
Yeah.
I mean, Brazil out, now, but somehow, you don't want to bet against the Europeans talking about Israel from winning this under-20 tournament, because they played good football. Also, they played good football, entertaining football, and Brazil will definitely be shocked right now that how did they lose against Israel. So it's a funny tournament so far. It's been a funny tournament so far.
It's been a tournament of ups and downs, and of course some fairy tale stories for a couple of teams. It must be said, Israel in cloud 9 at the moment, or rather cloud 3 if you think about the 3 goals they scored against Brazil. What about Italy, who found a way to come back into the tournament after losing to Nigeria 3-1, the victory against Colombia? South Korea defeating Nigeria, the Golden Eaglets, or the Flying Eagles rather. of Nigeria by a 0-0. What it means is that we don't have a chance to go ahead and win our first major under 20 World Cup in history. So we're back home, right? Let's get away from that story then. But I get the sense that when you look at the team, there's some players you imagine will go on to big things, and we always reminisce about the 2005 team that were incredible. Mikel, Taiwo, lots of players in that squad. Is there anybody that's impressed you in this tournament?
Our left back is one player that we definitely can look at. Maybe finally, solving the issue we've been having with our level ever since Celestine Baba. And I think to some extent,
you think you can make the jump to the national team?
Why not? Why not? As a will tell you that if you're good enough, then you're old enough to play football. So I think our left back is one particular player. The name beats me right now. Is one particular player that can make the jump, to the team. No disrespect to Jamilu Collins and every other player that has tried. Kevin Bassi haven't played there, for so long. He's not a natural left back. We know that. So I think our left back can make that jump into the Super Eagles.
Well, very impressed with Mohamed, who has played the attack for us. Has been very, very instrumental. The man you're looking for is Agbalaka, the left back. Pretty much. Sounds good. Great stuff. Then let's get away from that now. Let's touch base with the Nigerian Premier Football League. Super Six is what it's called now. After playing a two group format, which pretty much the Bridge League in 2023, the 6 teams who qualified into the playoffs are now all camped in Lagos to take on themselves 5 games for each team. What it means is that you've got to win those 5 games to stand a chance of being called champions of the Nigerian Premier Football League. So, look, I've seen the first game, at the stadium. Good affair, 5 goals, 3 games. Aimba, Remo Stars, 2-2, brought the most highlights, brought the most funfair. Remo Stars really fought themselves way into that top 6. Aimba, on the other hand, maybe sneaked into it. And it feels as if, though, that Group A, the teams from that region are still the ones that are providing the most entertainment as well. Can you tell us anything from the first game? I know one game is not enough to, draw conclusions, but who looks the strongest? Is Rivers United there as well? Bendela there. Who else is there now? Lobby Stars as well. Who makes the jump? Who is going to be crowned champion?
I think the safe bet now is the safest bet now is on Rivers United or Aimba.
The last time a playoff was played, Aimba went on to win. Right.
So I think so. They have the history is there, the pedigree is there for both teams. And off the back of what happened at the regular season, you probably want to pick Bender Insurance. But I think they've kind of lost steam, second half of the season, and that has moving into the playoff right now against Lobby Stars.
You can't draw your way to the title, though, can you?
Of course. Against Lobby Stars, they were not really impressive, not a good game, and it's looking likely that if they find a way to get a continental place at the end of the playoffs, then I think they will be very, very happy with how their season panned out. So I think nobody is going to question every other team if you don't win it. If it eventually becomes a direct battle between the and Rivers United, I think the game between both teams will definitely give us a clearer picture of who is going to win. I think Remo Stars, Brenda Insurance, if they get a continental ticket at the end of the season, I think they will be very, very happy with how the season planned out. I'm not expecting anything from Sunshines and from Lobby Stars. No disrespect to them. Nobody gave them the chance to even make the Super Six playoff at the end of the day. But they are. So I think it's the direct battle between Aimba and Rivers United off the back of what we've seen so far from the match they won.
And maybe a sneaky feeling that Remo could also, pose
a
nice challenge. 100 million naira. Is the prize money to have for the winner, and it is an amazing prize money to have. I think it's the highest ever in Nigerian football history. So pretty much a nice largesse for the teams. Whoever gets to win it has that in their coffers, and of course doesn't quite offset the cost of running a full season, but I think it goes a long way to help you prepare for the next season. So who would it be? Aimba, Remo, Rivers, Sunshine Stars, Lobby, or Bendel? Let us know your messages on not WhatsApp actually, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and of course if you find us on TikTok, how about you leave us a message as well on Sports Pizza. So 2 local stories. Let's make the jump quickly into a story that pretty much rocked the whole of last weekend. FA Cup final. Man United up against Manchester City. First ever Manchester derby in a final. United coming to that game had won 41 games. City had won 42 games. City, of course, went on to make it 43 games. 2-1 final scoreline. 2 goals from Gundogan, and who you imagine when you start a final and you're setting up, you have a nice coffee, you have some pizza and whatnot, watching with the friends, and you're making handshakes, and you look at the screen, 1-0, 12 seconds, fastest goal ever in the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
From then on, you knew that it was going to be an uphill task, though.
But then again, we know United, we know the pedigree of United, we know the history of United. They never see that attitude. I think Ten Hag is bringing that back right now. I mean, we last saw that with Silas Ferguson in 2013, but I think Ten Hag is bringing that back and let you know that until the final blast of the whistle, you are still in the game.
Because it kind of felt like in the end, City were almost hanging on, at the very minutes of the game. And
maybe, just maybe, Ten Hag could have made early substitutions, in the game. But I don't know what with coaches are making substitution after the 68th minute. I mean, you're a coach yourself, so
I'm not the coach.
So I think United, we can see the progression in the team. United, Arsenal, and maybe Liverpool will probably give City a run for their money, next season. But the FA Cup showed us that if a player doesn't function, another player is definitely going to function for City.
Right.
And we saw that in the Champions League semi-final against Madrid also. Every other player in the team were not really at the best of their game. But somehow, Bernardo Silva,
they've got the players.
And it feels like they are playing a FIFA manager mode, in real life. Every player cannot be off from on the same day. So Gundogan pop up with 2 goals for them, and the early goal probably did a bit of damage to Manchester United confidence, but they still found their way into the game. But then again, early goal in the second half, and from there you knew City were not going to make the mistake they made in the first half by allowing United back into the game. Even though I feel United could have got an equalizer, and just like you say, penalties, lottery, anybody can have it. So I think the gap has really closed to City and United. If you are able to say that, the gap has really closed. So I'm looking forward to next season, but they couldn't stop the treble charge, for City. That's
so a bit of dress rehearsal for Man City as far as this week's Champions League final at Istanbul. Inter Milan, I'm sure, must have kept an eye on everything City did. So looking forward to what is going to be a massive game. I tell you that for free. England versus Italy, Man City versus Inter Milan. Right then, speaking of Milan, we can't mention that name this week without paying our respects to one of the best to ever do it. And we've spoken to the producer and told him no matter what happens, no matter who scored a wonder goal, that Zlatan moment and the entire stadium crying has to be a moment of the week. So there you have it, Expo ahead of time. That's a moment of the week, right? But talk to me about what a player he's been. When you think about the greats of the game, Cristiano, Messi, De Lima, Maradona, Pele, and all these incredible players, we mentioned Ronaldinho, Zidane, where does Zlatan rank? Because when I've watched him play, I've thought that he is just a level, maybe not, he's not up to a level, but maybe 0.5 is the difference between him and, the likes of Cristiano and co. Longevity, the courage, the persona, the ability to perform at a high level. What is it, 42, something like that? Kept playing at the top level and bowing out at the top at AC Milan.
I mean, a friend of mine said Zlatan is not retiring from professional football. It's professional football that's retiring from Zlatan. Zlatan, he makes a lot of statements and he has been able to back the statement. It is one thing to make a statement and another thing to back it up, and that is what Zlatan has done with football. I mean, it's just a shame that it came the era of Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo.
Actually came before those guys. Stayed around till those guys were wrapping up, and he also wrapped up. So
I feel if Ronaldo and Messi were not playing football, Zlatan would probably have like 4 or 5 Ballon d'Ors. No, I'm not exaggerating.
The problem is that Champions League hasn't quite been able to win. But I look at him and I just think, skill for skill, talent for talent. there's only one player I think I could rate above him in the last 15, 20 years. That's Messi and Cristiano, or two players rather. I think it's as good as Benzema, if not better.
Better than Benzema, better than Lewandowski, better than Eden Hazard.
Because he could do everything. He could score. He could play make. He could
penalty.
Could do everything. Could dribble for a big guy. And guess what? Comes from Sweden. I always feel like you can't choose where you're born.
Yeah.
But when you're born from Sweden and you're as big as Zlatan is, imagine if we're from France, so for example, or from England,
maybe that would have counted,
or Argentina.
Maybe that would have counted in his favor by winning the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, something like that.
We don't pay attention to players from all those. We only look at what they play at the club side.
Yeah.
So, but Ronaldo, Messi.
Not because you don't pay attention, because
Benzema,
you don't get to see them that much.
Yeah, Ronaldo, Messi, Benzema, they have the luxury of the national team to back up whatever they are doing with their club football.
Yeah.
And Zlatan didn't have that luxury. So I think once again it's a sad thing that he was playing during the eras of Messi and Ronaldo. I feel he would have at least 1, 2, 3 Ballon d'Ors to his name, and he knows that himself.
Yeah.
But we're gonna miss him. An all-time great if you're gonna say that.
Well, of course, one of the greats of the game, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, take a bow. And of course, we all did cry with you, and we all did cry with that stadium, that's for sure. Let's talk about another great player who's now decided to part ways with Real Madrid. 14 years at the club, he decided to say, you know what, at the highest level, after winning the Ballon d'Or, this is my stand. And is off, and he had a standing ovation when he walked out the stadium in the last game. This is pretty much the end of an era at Real Madrid. It's just Luka Modric and Kroos left, but was signed in the same year as Cristiano got signed in. Karim Benzema, the king, walks away with his head held highest.
Nothing left to achieve.
Yeah.
At Real Madrid, won the Champions League 5 times, La Liga 4 times. Multiple trophies, Club World Cup, European Super Cup. I think it's our time for him to secure the bag. Because that's.
I think he won his first Copa del Rey this season, no?
No.
I think
they won the Copa del Rey under Jose Mourinho.
Right, but there's a title he won this season for the first time. This season, I'll just confirm that for you.
Well, I think they won the Copa del Rey. Remember that goal that Cristiano Ronaldo scored against Barcelona and that nothing. And remember the Bale run over Marc Bartra. So they won the Copa del Rey that season. So I think he has done it to us. I think it's the same thing with Rafael Varane. Only that Benzema is not staying in Europe. He's going to Saudi Arabia according to a report, 2-year contract with Al Ittihad, and we can only wish him success. Keep securing the bag. He has done it. So another player leaving, end of an era. Finally, the BBC combination has finally left Real Madrid. I think it's just give it one season also. I think we'll see the end of Toni Kroos and Luka Modric at Real Madrid.
I get the feeling that when your peers start leaving, and you're in the dressing room with these kids, Vinicius, Rodrigo, you're wondering, I think it's time to go. Exactly. I get the feeling that Kroos and Modric might feel a bit lonely in the dressing room, but I get the feeling that the person who's going to miss him the most is Vini Jr. Yeah, the combination is lethal, and I just get the sense that something big is going to happen at Real Madrid this summer. Harry Kane and whatnot being mentioned, but all of that on the other side of the show. Right. Let's take a break on the show now, because when we come back, we've got more stories on Sports Pizza. Welcome back, everybody, to Sports Pizza. Always a pleasure to have you stick with us, and we're having a great chat. I can tell you that, even though I say so myself, but if you just rewind to the last couple of minutes, we've been having a real great chat. Falan Denise in the studio as well. My name is Yubi, and so Ndwonovid. And one of the names that gave us great joy last season, of course, on the track and field, was Tobi Amusan. Let's start off with her. She got her first win of the season, finishing 12.57 seconds, season's best so far in Jamaica. And, when you have a world record season like she's had in the last year, you're always under a lot of pressure to start the next season on fire. Didn't quite happen, but she's finally hit the ground running once more, and we hope that from then on it's smooth sailing. Yeah,
and I think she needed that victory because she has really been struggling with injuries this season. And you probably want to doubt yourself that can I achieve what I achieved last season. Staying at the top is it's really, really difficult maintaining that.
Arsenal fans would know. Arsenal fans would know. So,
but I think now that she has gotten a win, under her belt, 12.57 seconds, away from home, and I think that will probably, spur her on to want to achieve, more in the world of order. So, good way for her. Congratulations for her, and of course, we were expecting to see more from her.
Well, of course, after a significant couple of injuries and losses, she's back to winning ways, and of course, in 100 meters. And we'll see how things pan out going forward. Let's get on from that, track and field. Let's touch base with the French Opens. Talk to me about this tournament where Novak Djokovic and Carlos Alcaraz. I've seen some great stories, some nice subplots building there. There's no Rafael Nadal, right, who's injured, and we won't have to talk about him if he's around because that's his birthright almost. But who's the favorite to win it then?
I think Rafael Nadal will definitely be praying right now that Carlos Alcaraz finds a way to stop Novak Djokovic from, winning record 23 Grand Slam. I mean, he's tied on 22 with Rafael Nadal. Yeah. And Djokovic wants to pull clear. He wants to pull clear. But the favorite for this tournament, surprisingly, has to be Carlos Alcaraz. Yeah. The world number one right now is playing. And there's no minus in this game at all. Yeah. There's no minus in this game. And he's now building that fear factor that Rafael Nadal, has, back then. Yeah. And if there's one man that can stop him, it has to be Novak Djokovic. And also, if there's one man that can stop Novak Djokovic, it's Alcaraz. Alcaraz. They're both into the quarterfinal. Yeah. And it's looking like that if they find a way to separate them, they'll play each other in the final.
Let me take that off you then. Novak Djokovic, always you can have a cough. Novak Djokovic, winner of the French Open 2016 and most recently in 2021. Carlos Alcaraz looks very aggressive, and I get the sense that we might see that for the final. Right then. So that's that for that. What about the women's category? What's happening there? Who is reigning supreme?
Well, the usual suspects, Iga Swiatek and the Tunisia, but we also have Coco Gauff, who they are going to be playing their quarterfinal games today. Right. So we'll keep an eye, both eyes on that one. But my smart money is on Iga Swiatek
to go ahead and win it once more, right? Spare a thought for Ons Jabeur, who's come very close in the last couple of major tournaments. Then, so track and field, of course, French Opens. Now let's touch base with a story from Formula One. And I tell you what, right? Last week I was at a Formula One event in Lagos, and of course you had some drifters, some nice cars, and all that stuff.
Did they allow you?
No, I don't drift. I don't I've got to do a job here, right? I've got to work here, right? Sports business people need me. But look, talk to me about Max Verstappen, fifth win in 7 races. But maybe we're used to that. What we're not used to was seeing Hamilton coming in second place. So it's good to have him back closer to the top, right? And,
it felt strange though, seeing Hamilton on the podium finish. And I can't believe I'm actually saying that, but that is the story of Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton this season. And not just one Mercedes driver on the podium. We also have
Did he finish 4th last time at Monaco?
Yeah, he finished 4th last time.
So getting closer and closer.
Yeah, getting closer. Second this time around. The other Mercedes driver, Russell, finishing 3rd. So it shows you that they are still there. Yoruba will say cannot finish from a praise, and you will not see that this person, there's a mark of praise on this body, and that is what is happening with Lewis Hamilton and Russell. But it's Verstappen's season. Yeah, it's Verstappen's season. He has been able to pull clear of his closest challenger, who is his teammate. Talking about Sergio Perez. Yeah, 5 races out of 7. That's a sign of a champion. Yeah, it's a champion awaiting. It's done and dusted. Yeah. It's done and dusted. What we're actually looking at now is, will he be able to win all the races this season? But for him, nobody's going to bet against him winning the championship at the end of the season. Yeah. Will he be able to win all the races?
All the races.
That is what we're not really sure of right now.
40 career victories for Max Verstappen, the Dutch Red Bull driver, having a great time, and we're enjoying every moment of it as well. We've got to save the best for the last always on Sports Pizza, and the best, one of the best in the world, certainly the best in Italy, is Victor Osimhen. 26 goals brought out his daughter on the final day, and the kid wearing the mask, and I kind of feel like this is a Batman story all over again with the mask. I think we start selling those masks here in Lagos. But
maybe.
An incredible season, 26 goals, top scorer, Scudetto in the bag a long time ago. Look, does it get better than that? He's got to win African Football of the Year, isn't it? He's got to win it.
No doubt.
No first doubt. Nigerian player, right?
First African player.
First African player to win the Scudetto Golden Shoe. What an amazing feat.
I mean, he is now in good company. When you look at Diego Maradona, Gonzalo Higuain, Edison Cavani, the players that have won the highest goal scorer, with Napoli. But what he has just done is he has been able to combine both the Scudetto and the highest goal scorer. The first player to do that also since, the legendary Zlatan in the 2009 season with AC Milan. And his stock has definitely risen. I can boldly say that Victor Osimhen is 100 million upward player right now for any club that wants to prize him away from SS Napoli. A fantastic season for the Nigerian.
Brilliant season, fantastic, excellence, and of course, incredible. All the superlatives, totally deserved. Definitely. I've got to ask you, because the final happens this weekend, where's your money on, Inter or Man City?
Definitely Man City. All things really question should be Man City. But this is football, anything is possible. So you don't want to rule out Inter Milan. For you to get to that stage, that means you've done something all throughout the season.
Yeah.
And they have good players that can cause damage to the City defense. But the smart money will always be on City, to win. But if you want to go the risky parts, in your bank money, you probably want to put your money on Inter Milan.
And say banger while you're at it. Yeah, right. Look, we totally enjoyed this, and I tell you what, I can see producers in my ear and whatnot telling me we've got to wrap it up. But look, when the end of the season comes, you always have great stories, and we totally enjoyed every bit of the episodes with you. And of course, we've got a couple more to go. So never mind the season-ending Sports Pizza never goes away, and we're here all through. I want to thank you very much indeed for your very valued insights. My name is UB, and so
player of the day.
We've done that already. That's Zlatan's. We all cry with Zlatan. So have your own tears. We'll see you very soon. Bye bye.